to be part of a group. So I get information here, information there. As I'm going along with them in the Bible, um, I'm seeing things come out that never hit me before. As long as this Bible was in my house, I didn't know some of these things was in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what was I learning? What was I being taught? I got baptized twice and thought I knew everything. But, you know, I didn't. That's how I found my way into the truth. I'm glad I'm here with my brothers and sisters. And that's pretty much my ride into the truth.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
Shalom, who else do we have here?
Brother Roderick.
Shalom, Brother Roderick.
Well, I received the baptism, Holy Spirit. And I realized that my church, they dietary laws, Gentiles,
Right.
but they received the Holy Spirit. And I got put to the baptism of the Holy Spirit. But I started watching the Bara and the Watchman and the Teach page.
Okay.
ISU, and I realized that in camps they don't teach the baptism of the Holy Spirit. They don't teach that. But I don't, you know, I know everybody ain't got that. But,
Right.
You know,
And I tell you,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
no, I said I understand. I know.
But do you guys believe in receiving
Do we believe?
the Holy Spirit?
Yes, I believe that the Holy Spirit is exactly what the Bible says.
Okay. Did you guys see the last one?
Not everybody will believe that, but that's what I believe.
Did y'all see the last white? The brother from the bar.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I saw it. Who was it?
You brother, you could not say sorry, brother.
I think they have some audio problems.
Okay.
I think,
Yes, sister.
the way I was introduced to the truth was that I grew up as a unbaptized Jehovah's Witness, and I remember asking them questions about the people in the Bible about the Israelites. As a little girl, I used to always ask, well, what happened to these people? And they never really had like a clear answer. Everybody had something different to say. So one day I was watching one of those DNA tests, something how you can find out your ancestry and information about your ancestors. So then once I was watching, I was a little sad because I knew I wouldn't be able to find anything about my ancestors. So I heard a little voice that said your history is far more interesting than the people you're watching. So then I was like, okay. I started doing my own research, and that's how I came about my history.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Shalom Nation, can you hear me?
Shalom.
Shalom, sister.
Shalom. This is Sister Anisha. Blessings, everybody. It's so nice to see your faces. um, I feel really humbled and blessed to be on this conference call, and I don't know how much more time I have before my phone dies on me. You can see it's like really acting up. But as far as how I came into the truth, um, I have to say the Most High really has had His hand on me throughout my whole life. Just to kind of give a little background, my father is really into the metaphysical, and he is still here on this physical plane with us. Hallelujah. My mother, may she rest in peace. She was one of 12 children that grew up in a Baptist church. So they grew up in the church. I mean, they were there every day. They were ushers. They were part of the choir. My grandfather was the minister. His church is still up and running in Augusta, Georgia. And my mother and father never really pushed any set religion or doctrine on me. They just kind of were like baby birds fly, and they gave me the foundation, and they waited for me to start asking questions. And as I asked questions, they said no. And I'm really thankful for that, because that granted me the opportunity to establish my own personal relationship with Abba. And reading the Bible, I would always come across Deuteronomy 28, and it would click in my mind as a youngster. I'm like, oh, this is slavery. But I was like, no, it can't be that simple. It just can't be that simple.
Right.
And then I journeyed into Islam. I was a practicing Muslim for 8.5 years. And if anyone here has read the Quran, you know that that is just Torah reiterated.
Right.
Torah reiterated with some more detail too, but it's just Torah reiterated.
Yes.
So I started coming back to Torah and the Injil, the Gospel. And as I started coming back to it, I remember passing IUIC on Jamaica Avenue. And at that time, I was still married. And my ex-husband and I were in our transition from our marriage to non-existence. And when we were passing the Israelites, I was just like, dang, it's so loud. Why you gotta get so loud on the street? He was like, yeah, they're loud, but yo, those brothers got a lot of truth.
Right.
And then it just clicked. I was like, okay, so let me start investigating. And I began my investigating. And everything they were saying, it just clicked, it just clicked, it just clicked. And then the Most High, like every time you think you've reached the plateau of understanding, the Most High makes you delve deeper. He hits you with something to humble you and make you realize it's a lot deeper. The rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than many are realizing. From IUIC, I was introduced to the established kingdom of the Most High, the tribes of Aboriginal nations. And I started to learn about One West, and I started to learn about the original commandment people, and I started to learn about Marcus Garvey and Martin Delane and even Frederick Douglass. you would be amazed at how many of our forefathers actually knew exactly who we were and were petitioning to get us to come up out of her, my people. And understanding law, trade, and commerce, and understanding that my forefathers are actually the ones who established civilization, established the court system, established law through divine inspiration. It just, when I say the scales are falling, the scales are literally falling, and I'm just so thankful to the Most High, because every time I look left to right, there's somebody else well known and prominent in the social media area awakening, whether it be, B.O.B. or whether it be David Banner, Omari Stoudemire. It's just like the time is now, and it's so exciting, and I'm so thankful, and I feel so blessed, and just I'm looking forward to every day. It gets better every day.
All right. Shalom, who else do you have with us? Brother Diabra, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I already told you my journey.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before we kind of got cut off.
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
But I did want to say one thing also about the Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
Like that really touched me, because if you read Revelations 19:10, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of the prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
People overlook the prophecy. Like they try to tell me like, nah, that's not true. That could be anybody.
Right.
No, it ain't anybody.
Right.
You know, and that's pretty much all I want to say.
Right, I understand what you mean. People, like you said, a lot of people try to say that, how would I know? How can we know?
Right.
We can know because of history, because it was prophesied and then it happened. That's how we know.
That's how we know.
I mean, if it was prophesied and it haven't happened. But it happened. We're the only people that it happened to.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. So before all y'all got here, I just want to say this real quick. Before all y'all got here, there was another brother that was on here. Well, I don't even want to say brother because I don't know exactly what he was. But he said he was Scottish. And he was saying that he was a Jacobite. And saying that, basically saying that, that the 12 tribe chart, was not right. That he knows that he's an Israelite, but he doesn't know what tribe, he's from, which he could be telling the truth.
Could be.
But
so it's not right.
I know, right. So, but the point is that the brother, basically was saying that us blacks who think that we are Israelites, that's not true. That that the 12 tribes of Israel went, they're dispersed basically on their own, and totally, saying that totally trying to overstep the transatlantic slave trade that we all know happened. But he's saying that that's not that basically that those were not Israelites that were taken, and just talking crazy. But the 12 tribe chart, I think, is something that's very interesting. I think that we should definitely include that in one of our conversations. Matter of fact, I was just planning an event for that, next week.
Me too.
And, I really, were you?
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about it tonight.
Idea.
I was going to talk to you about it tonight about smashing that 12 tribe chart from Isaiah 11 chapter alone kills it. I mean, but I was going to talk to you about that because that was like the hot topic right now.
Okay. So it is the hot topic.
Yeah. I mean, we been said it, but it's
right.
no big deal. I mean, I had already accepted what I had accepted because I believe in the scripture. And I believe in what happened, what Isaiah 11 says. So
right.
what is that, brother? Isaiah 11 what? Isaiah 11 chapter, man, it talks about where the northern kingdom is coming out of, and it talks about the dispersed of Judah from the four corners. I mean, he cuts the chart, man.
Okay.
And the only thing,
Hey, can I interrupt, please?
Go ahead.
Y'all need to check out Light It Out 4. Oh man, hey, they killed
that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
He chopped it up. They sure did.
I live in South Carolina and in Charleston. They still to this day they still got the slave docks up. They got the names and all. Like it's a tourist location. So I mean,
That's the same thing here in Fayetteville. We still got the slave house in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's still up. The auction house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's still here. But I had been saying for a long time, with the social media and this outburst of the truth, I had been saying within the last year or two, where is the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, where they at? I mean, I'm like, all this stuff we got going on, where are they?
Right.
It's only us. So I started questioning then just off what I'm seeing in the physical. That's what I started doing. When I read Isaiah 11, I said, they killed it right there. I said, it's over.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Okay. If you actually observe the different black people around the world, not the different black people, but the Israelites in the Caribbean and also in Africa and also in South America, we all have something in common. We're all under the curse, and it's I mean, it is so visible. You cannot deny that we are the original Israelites. Once you have the information, you can connect the dots. Once you know the truth, it's like you ask yourself, how come I didn't see it before? It's so clear that the evidence is there. How can anybody deny that we are the original Israelites? I don't get that.
Well, they're going to.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I can see, family, this is Sister Michelle Renee. I did the Light It Out 4 video up on as many of our pages as I could so everybody would have access to it. So if anybody has not seen it and want to know what it's talking about, I try to tonight put it on every one of our pages so that people can at least gain access to it and then determine from there, because they bring out a lot of things. And I wanted to defend that 12 tribe chart. I mean, you bringing my husband bringing me in. That 12 tribes chart makes sense. I have, some Indians I wanted to know, but my husband would always say, okay, so what you're telling me is these Native American Indians fleeing persecution got to the Americans, yet they speak another language. He said it just doesn't make sense. And he would always say, If they didn't come over through the transatlantic slave trade, I don't know them. And it was something for me to see the video, because it wasn't after all these years, after seeing the video, I had to back up. I mean, yes, you know, he's my husband. He didn't argue the point, but he knew what my point was. And it was just hard for me to really put all together. And like you kind of said, with Isaiah 11:11, and then you go into like 11:12, you got Israelites reading that. And it says the outcast of Israel. But
Right.
period there after Israel. And then it says, and the dispersed of Judah. So those are two different statements. And a lot of this are reading 11:11 the first time. They're saying, oh, no. It's meaning everybody dispersed.
Right.
No, sentence is not right. And like my husband says, you might have to, we need to look at this in Hebrew so you understand. Those are two different statements. It's not saying the house of Israel is dispersed. Israel are the outcasts. He said they're the outcasts because everywhere they went, they weren't wanted. And they formed their own communities there. He said they're still killing these people to this day. He said you got Muslims over in Africa that are lynching and killing and burning and raping these people because they never thought of them as being one of them. But it's time for us to wake up and realize that we got people over in Africa, them, and they're us. You know, there's some good points there. So, when watch it, he said, I want you to think when Africans, everybody was loading up these slave ships, they literally said tribe of Levi to the left, tribe of Benjamin to the right. And when they actually said, everybody that's a Levite, get off here. Everybody that's a Benjamin, hold on. He said it wasn't like a bus where everybody was waiting for their stop. You know, everybody was blended in, and the idea that only certain people ended up certain places, he said it's absolutely wrong, and there's just no way that all the Dominicans would be this, all the Cubans would be that. He said the Dominican Republic and Haiti are on the same island. He said, so you mean to tell me they dropped some folks on the other end of the island and dropped the other folks on the other? And then when I started to look at it, look at the logistics, I'm going to put your word in a post and I'm going to let it go. So he's tickled pink because he's watching basically this thread go to this. And I know on Children of the Promise, I think we got over 600 comments. I mean, it's been crazy.
Oh my goodness.
So I'll make sure it gets out on all the pages so everybody can at least take a look at it, whether you agree, disagree, you just really understand it. We're just going to put it out there, and then you can make your own, determination.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Since I haven't seen it, I don't have an opportunity very often to, to be able to just sit down and partake in a lot of things. So it'll be interesting. So Shalom, who else do we have?
Can you all hear me? This is Daniel Ben Gabriel. Can you hear me?
Shalom, brother.
Okay, shalom. Okay, I just got this email and I just tuned into it. So could someone explain to me this forum? Is this a video call, a conference call? And it looked like 800 people joined it that I saw in Google Plus, and I'm wondering how we are going to accommodate that many people. So if I can just hear a little bit about the forum, please.
Well, it looks as though we're not going to be able to accommodate it, and we're going to have to probably set up a line, a a line or a phone line where we'd be able to chat there. Basically, so the forum is just Israelites, people in the truth that, we're trying to find a way for us to get together as a community and have, topic conversations on this or that. And, basically somewhere where we can be able to talk and talk in a respectful way. And, just be able to kick back and fellowship with one another, because that those of us who are in the truth do not have very many opportunities to fellowship, with other brothers and sisters in the truth, depending on where you are.
So, okay, I see. So it said, what I got in my email was the topic was what happened in Dimona. Is this the right chat room even?
Oh, no, brother. No. No, that's not this group. Yeah,
Okay.
our topic tonight was just basically, we're just introducing ourselves and.
Okay, that was both of those was in there. One said that the topic would be introducing ourselves, and that the topic said also what happened in Dimona. Now, what's his brother's name? Hananya or something like that?
Yeah, that one must be for someone else.
Okay, so I must have gotten 2 of these notifications.
I guess so, yeah.
2 separate notifications.
You're popular.
Okay, all right then. So what I'm going to do is I will try to come back and forth between the 2, but I'm going to go out and then see if I can figure out what's going on here. And briefly, I would just like to introduce myself. I was a member of the Dimona community from 1973 to 1980.
Okay.
And I was listening to the sister talking about not having anyone to fellowship. Well, I came into the truth in 1972, 71 or 72 at the age of 16. And the way I came into the truth, I was raised in Detroit, Michigan, was when Martin Luther King was assassinated, my mother, she prayed and asked, she said, at that time, she was a Christian, she said, Lord, do you hate us too? And then that's when we all, a spirit just came to our house. And it just came to us. I don't know how I know, I just know. That is, I know. We are the descendants of the Hebrew Israelites. And so at about 17, I was going throughout the housing project in Detroit that I grew up in, and telling all of the ghetto Negroes, that's what we were at that time,
right,
about this truth. And I had pop thrown on me. I was laughed, scorned. And then in 1973, Prince Asiel, I'm sure you've all heard of him, was on the radio in Detroit.
Right.
And I said, wow, this vindication. You mean there's someone else in the world that knows that we are the Hebrew Israelites? And they're over in Israel. And so my mother called the number they gave on the Martha Jean the Queen radio show. And she and my eldest sister went to that meeting. And I didn't go because I was disappointed in Black consciousness movements. I had been in the Black Liberation Army starting at 16, and I was very conscious at 16 years old. It came directly from the Father. I mean, when they came to my house, and I was 18 by the time they got to my house, and they would start reading the scripture, and I would finish their sentences. It was asking me, where did you get this knowledge? I don't know. Just from the Father, from prayer, studying the scriptures.
Right.
And so anyway, I ended up going over there to Dimona, but I will tell you that to look at this movement now, if you would have told me then that the Creator would be true to his word like he has been. And I will say this about Dimona, that failure is a human potential. And any failures, any complaints, that people have against that community. I was there. I was a part of it. I know Ben-Ami, Minister Louis Farrakhan, all of them. And I would say that the Creator does not have the potential to fail. You see, because too many Israelites have the idea that being Yah's chosen is you're the little favorite child and you're better than everyone else. And that attitude is wrong. Because we were chosen to be an example and a blessing to the other nations. When they see us be obedient to the Creator, then he would bless our nations and then they would be obedient to the Creator. So he had the whole human family in mind at the time when he chose our nation. And he said that either you will be an example or you will be made an example of. I'm just, shortening what Deuteronomy 28 is about. And so we were made an example of. But I think the direction that the Hebrew Israelite movement needs to go in, there is so much sharing on Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. But now is the time to look at 1 through 14, the blessings. Now is that we've been through that. We've been through the curses. Now we need to focus on those blessings in verses 1 through 14 and what do we need to do to secure those blessings. And so, but he tells us only a remnant. The Creator is very angry with Israel. If you knew what I know, you may want to stay a Christian, because only a remnant that will be tried in fire. It said that the escaped of that remnant would be called holy. We're not there yet. I look at all the brothers trying to gather 7 wives. I said, well, hold on a minute. And we were doing that in Dimona. And it was forced upon the sisters, and they didn't like it. There was so much frustration. That's not a good recipe for nation building. To have our women frustrated and really sabotaging the movement because they're frustrated, just all kinds of, Right. And so the 7 wives thing, I was chatting with some young Israelites. I'm 60 years old. I was chatting with some young Israelites yesterday. The 7 wives thing is because there would not be, there would be 7 women saved to every male saved. That is the reason for that. The reproach is not the curse that y'all put on Eve. He didn't put a curse on Eve. He didn't put a curse on Adam. He put a curse on the serpent, and he put a curse on the ground. For the man's sake, he would have to till the ground to earn his bread. But he cursed the serpent and the ground. So there is no state that just being an Israelite woman, you inherited the curse of Eve or something, and you have a reproach. So to take away that reproach because you're a female is it? But no, the reproach was like Ruth and Naomi. All her husband had died. She didn't have any menfolk. And the same Hebrew word was used in Isaiah 4. And so the reproach is the unavailability of any men to marry. So when we have the right attitude of humility, the Creator don't owe us anything. We have nothing coming. It's only, this remnant is only saved, if you understand the scriptures, for his name's sake. For his name is upon us. And for that reason, he will save a remnant. But that remnant will be blessed. But in Daniel 12, it says that many shall awaken who sleep in the dust of the earth. And I've seen one page called The Great Hebrew Israelite Awakening. And that's part of that fulfillment of prophecy. Some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting shame and contempt. So it is not enough just simply knowing our identity. We must cultivate, each of us individually within ourselves, the right attitude of mind. Humility. Humility is an accurate attitude, an accurate perception of your relationship to Yah and to your people. Accurate. You know what I'm saying? If he has put you in a high position among your people, then it's accurate for you to be that. But if you don't even know anything and you just came to truth last month, and you are creating all these names and all this stuff. And it's like, where did you get this? You know, you're just relying. People see disinformation, misinformation. The enemy will always sow confusion in whatever y'all is trying to do. And so but me personally, I don't worry about it, because I know he only has a remnant. And all of this business about which tribes or where and all of that, my position on that is this: that to be an Israelite is almost a legal status, because you could be in the nation of Israel back thousands of years ago, and if you committed certain crimes, sins, or transgressions, you were no longer an Israelite. You were exiled. So there was a covenant. There were conditions upon being an Israelite, conditions of obedience to Yah's will that our forefathers did not do.
Okay.
But he also said, but if the convert among you, let's talk about the white Jews. If he will keep my law, then he shall have the same blessings and status. You should not withhold from him. He is acceptable in my sight as part of my holy congregation, because you have to remember he had the whole human race in mind in choosing Israel. You know, Christianity kind of whittled that down to this one man, but it was really the whole nation is the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? And so,
okay, brother, I'm going to stop you there. Is there any of you brothers have anything to say about that?
Not really, no.
but okay, so I do have to go, but I'm just going to close out by saying that, you know, I love everybody. I haven't even met you, but this to me is enough just to see all of these hundreds of thousands all over the world. You know, and my father, my biological father, was a Christian pastor of the apostolic faith. And when I came back from Israel in 1980, and he tried to get me to return to Christianity, and we would have those debates. I've been through all this, all in the early 1980s. He's passed away now, but I had no support. You know, there were only a few Hebrew Israelites. But the Creator did just what he said he would do. But we must always remember it boils down to a choice. He leaves us a choice to make. And I'm grateful. I just thank y'all for all of you. I love you with all my heart. I tell you, I wish.
Brother.
And I just hope that we can all be in that number when the saints go marching in. But I'm going to say shalom. And I will be getting back, if not tonight, then next Sunday. Are you doing this every Sunday at 7?
Every Sunday at 7, yes. Actually, every Sunday at 7. And so next week, the topic of conversation is actually going to be the 12 tribe chart. And so, you know, if you have an opportunity to join in, we'd appreciate you. We welcome you.
Okay. And now, who is this speaking?
This is Sister Kana.
Okay, all right. I don't think I've ever seen any of you. Are you hunting, Hannah? Is that your post?
No, I'm Kana.
Okay, I don't think we're Facebook friends, but okay, all right. Shalom, family. Love you. Bless. Peace and blessings to everybody. Thank you.
Shalom, brother.
Sister Chana.
I'm here.
Yes. I'm going to have to leave the conference, but I wanted to share one thing before I left. And that is 3 John 11. Above all else, I wish that thou prosper and be in good health, as well as thy soul prospereth. Which means to me that the church needs to be concerned about the health of the members that are suffering with high blood pressure and diabetes and cancers and so forth. And I think that that's not addressed enough in the ministries, and people are left to take the poison sorcery drugs from the pharmaceutical industry. And that's why the Lord has led me to be the herbalist for GOCC, but I need to reach out to more than just one organization like GOCC, but to all the brothers and sisters, because I'm called to do this work. And so that anyone who is sick among you, I'm here for you, and I will answer your questions as I have for thousands and thousands of members so far. But if you have any health issues and you would like the natural remedy, I would like you to get in touch with me.
Okay. Well, shalom, brother. Like I said, we're gonna wrap things up here soon, and next week's conversation is the 12 tribes chart. So basically, I put for the title of next week is the 12 tribe chart.
There we go. And